today there have been a number of things that have occurred since the last time we gave you an update. So I did provide you in advance of this meeting information that would be where you and the public could follow the progress of these two projects. So I wish to explain those couple of things to you, where information can be found and what is the current status. And my most important message to you today is neither one of the pipeline projects, neither the Sunoco Mariner East pipeline proposal nor the Williams Transco Atlantic Sunrise proposal are done deals. Neither one of them. And we will explain to you where they are in the process. They're at two different procedures that they follow, because one is a natural gas pipeline and the other is a natural gas liquids pipeline, and they have different pathways to get their approvals, their necessary approvals. And then finally, I'll say a couple words about a Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision that came out last week that will affect these pipelines. First, I'd like to point out to you that DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, has established a pipeline portal on their website, and the link is in the letter that I sent to you. And one of the pieces of information that you can get from that portal, it's a whole page set up to discuss the Sunoco Mariner East pipeline, sometimes called the Pennsylvania Pipeline Project. And one is this two-page information sheet, which is a handy-dandy reference about what's going on with the project, where it is in the process of applying for permits to the Department of Environmental Protection. The information that I provided to you is an update on the status of their permits that they have requested from DEP. And this is the Sunoco project. And the current status is the public hearings on the permit applications for stream crossings and wetlands encroachment and erosion and sedimentation, which is your construction, stormwater during construction permit. They are through the public hearing process, and DEP has issued what's called deficiency letters. They did a technical review and they found that the applications were missing information. And the technical deficiency letter that I have given you access to by going to the DEP website is a almost 30-page deficiency letter just on Lebanon County, their applications to Lebanon County. There are 16 other counties that this pipeline is proposed to cross, and there are similar letters on each of those applications also. So they have a lot of work to do. The pipeline company must respond to those deficiency requests by November 7, or ask for extra time to submit the information. And it does require them to do serious studies, consultation with other agencies, such as those agencies that protect our endangered species, and Historic Museum Commission, and all those consultation processes that should have happened earlier in the process, but they have not yet finished their complete applications. So that's why I say it's not a done deal yet for this pipeline. There's lots of work for the proponent to submit to the agencies, and there will be more public comment, and we hope more public hearings, although DEP has not responded to the many requests for more public comment and public hearings, because there will be so much new information submitted. This is a company, Sunoco, that had proposed to its investors that it would already be operating. So behind in the process, and I would say that it has something to do with the quality of the applications that they submitted to the DEP. The other information that I have referred you to, and it did call them proclamations of concern. 2 townships in Delaware County, Thornbury Township and Middletown Township in Delaware County, who are at the end of the pipeline before it reaches its destination, which is the Marcus Hook facility for sending natural gas liquids overseas for plastics manufacturers. These townships have received a lot of public comment, and they have chosen to express their concerns about the safety of this proposed pipeline by Sunoco in a document called the Proclamation of Concern. And I would ask you to take a look at these 2 documents. By the way, we have submitted to West Cornwall Township, and we will be submitted to the other municipalities in Lebanon County that through which the pipeline is supposed to transverse. These copies of these proclamations, because local government can represent their constituents and try to get things that, should the pipeline be built and approved and be built, would enhance the safety and security of the folks in those communities. And I would say that the same threats that the Delaware County municipalities have observed are the same threats to our county and to our 6 townships in one borough, 5 townships in one borough, that the Mariner East pipeline is proposed to cross. And that's why we're going to reach out to your townships in this county and give them this updated information, because there's so many people who believe that these pipelines are inevitable. And I would suggest to you that they aren't. They are still in the permitting process. They haven't received their final approvals. And then I would switch quickly to the Supreme Court decision, Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision from last week, in a case called Robinson Township. Robinson Township and the other townships that join them in opposing certain provisions of the 2012 amendments that the legislature and Governor Corbett signed to the Oil and Gas Act in Pennsylvania statute that regulates this industry. And there have been a series of cases that Robinson Township has brought that have gone up and down in the court system. In fact, this is number 4 decision in the Robinson Township litigation. There have been 3 previous ones, and I'm not going to bore you with those, but they've all taken issue with the provisions of what was called Act 13 of 2012, which are the amendments to the Oil and Gas Act. The Supreme Court found that the amendments that the legislature adopted were special treatment for the industry, and they have struck down several of these provisions. The one of most interest is the provision in that statute that allowed eminent domain to be used for gas storage for the companies to take property against private property owners' desire through that eminent domain process that you folks are probably familiar with. And what they said was that it violated the state constitution, because the state constitution protects property rights. It's one of the primary first Article 1, Section 1 of the Pennsylvania Constitution protects private property rights. In particular, they give special scrutiny to the use and the ability of both municipalities and private corporations trying to use the power to take property with compensation for the public use. And in this case, the court found that the grant in Act 13 of the power of eminent domain for gas storage was unconstitutional. And I would suggest to you that eminent domain is a primary issue with regard to both of the pipelines that we're talking about. This Sunoco Mariner East has successfully negotiated with many private landowners across the Commonwealth and including in Lebanon County because of the threat of eminent domain and their claim that they have eminent domain authority. And I'm just going to suggest to you that the latest decision by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court on the issue of eminent domain puts those claims in question. And we know that we have cases within the court system from various counties, county court decisions that are going up through the appeal process, including one from Lebanon County Court, where the issue of eminent domain is questioned. And I really believe that those decisions from the various county courts we won't know the clear answer to that until the Supreme Court speaks. And if they speak as they did last week, unanimously against the procedure that was in Act 13 that would allow eminent domain for private gain and not for public use, that we may see the same outcome with regard to these pipelines.
A few updates. According to FERC's schedule, the final EIS is expected to be released this month for the Atlantic Sunrise. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know, but I just wanted to mention that Lebanon Pipeline Awareness and Concerned Citizens of Lebanon County have signed on to a letter with 13 other organizations that are requesting a supplemental or a revised EIS, that's the environmental impact statement. And that's based on comments especially that were submitted by the EPA and the Department of the Interior, because there's missing information or issues that weren't even addressed that were not in the draft environmental impact statement. So that is what this request is about. So hopefully we can answer on that. I don't have a copy of the letter. This just happened. I can forward it to you electronically when the final letter is ready, and I think there also might be some media releases on that. Just other updates, as I think we told you before, there's legal appeals on the 401 water certification for the Atlantic Sunrise. Those are still out there and pending. And also, as Pam mentioned, with the DEP issuing deficiency letters for Sunoco, that likewise happened with the Atlantic Sunrise. Those will need to be addressed as well. For the water crossings and encroachments in Lebanon County, it was over 24 pages for the entire project. It was for the erosion and sedimentation, it was over 100 pages. So there's a lot of things that Williams Transco has to address with the DEP on those deficiencies. There could be possible action against FERC. Over 100, I can't remember the number exactly, I think it's about 150 organizations have asked for a congressional investigation of FERC with some of the actions that they've been doing. So we're waiting to see what happens with that.
One comment. I read through, there were hundreds, I didn't get through everything, but I did read through the Thornberry Township proclamation. And the one thing I noticed is that from a county perspective, I was a little surprised that they did not address our 911 dispatch units. That's the county's job. And it also didn't mention our hazardous materials team. And until the out-of-town pipeline companies get their people here, it is our hazmat team who will have to put their lives on the line to fend off people from crossing if there's a train wreck or, and there's an explosion, whatever it is. I don't know. But those two issues are high on the list for counties, and I encouraged once before, I do encourage that we adopt a proclamation of some sort, and those are things that I would personally like to see included, and I just thought I'd put that on the record.
Thank you, Commissioner Litz, and we would be happy to work with the county on addressing those issues if we so desire.